Have you ever eaten something everyone says is healthy, like yogurt, only to feel bloated, gassy, or just not quite right a little while later? You're not alone, and it's not your imagination, it's biology. Today, we're diving into why this happens, uncovering 3 foods you should never pair with yogurt, and revealing 3 that make it even better for your gut. Stick around until the end because you'll walk away knowing exactly how to enjoy yogurt the right way, so you can feel good after every bite and support your digestion as you age. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Fruit, especially citrus and melons. Now, this first one might catch you off guard, because if there's one duo that seems like a match made in heaven, it's fruit and yogurt. Picture yourself strolling through the grocery store, the dairy section calling your name. There they are, lined up in perfect little rows. Strawberry yogurt, blueberry yogurt, peach yogurt, maybe even a tropical mango blend. The packaging screams healthy, natural, good for you, and it's easy to buy into the hype. Who wouldn't think they're making a smart choice by spooning up this colorful combo? But here's the kicker. Mixing yogurt with fruit, particularly citrus fruits or melons, might not be the golden ticket to wellness you're expecting. In fact, for some folks, especially older adults, it can stir up more trouble than it's worth. Let's dig into why this seemingly innocent pairing can turn into a digestive disaster. First, let's break it down with citrus fruits. Think oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, pineapples, and even some tart berries like raspberries or blackberries. These fruits are undeniably delicious, bursting with flavor and packed with vitamin C, but they've got a sharp edge. They're highly acidic. That acidity is great for cutting through a rich meal or waking up your taste buds. But when you toss it into the mix with yogurt, things get tricky. Yogurt, as a dairy product, is loaded with proteins like casein, which don't play nicely with acid. When the two meet, whether in your breakfast bowl or down in your stomach, the acidity can cause those proteins to curdle. Yes, curdle like what happens when milk goes bad or when you add lemon to cream. It's not just a texture issue you can see, it's happening inside you. That curdled mess becomes a lot harder for your body to break down. The result? You might feel it as gas, bloating, or that all-too-familiar sensation of a heavy, sluggish stomach, like you've swallowed a brick instead of a light snack. Now, let's shift gears to melons. Watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, those juicy, refreshing fruits we all crave on a hot day. Melons are a different beast, but they're just as problematic when paired with yogurt. Here's why. Melons are what nutritionists and traditional healers call fast-digesting fruits. They're loaded with water and simple sugars, so your body wants to process them quickly and move them along through your digestive tract. Yogurt, on the other hand, is a slowpoke. With its dense proteins and fats, it lingers in your stomach, taking its sweet time to break down. So, what happens when you eat them together? The melon is ready to sprint through your system, but it slams into the yogurt traffic jam. It's like a high-speed car stuck behind a tractor on a narrow road. There's nowhere to go. When that fast-digesting melon gets held up, it starts to ferment in your gut. Fermentation might sound like a cool process when you're making kombucha, but in your stomach, it's a recipe for trouble. Gas, discomfort, a bloated belly, and for some people, even a mad dash to the bathroom with loose stools. This isn't just modern science talking, either. Ancient healing traditions, like Ayurveda, which has been around for thousands of years, have long sounded the alarm about mixing fruits and dairy. In Ayurveda, they teach that fruits and dairy have totally different digestive needs, and combining them throws your system out of whack. This is especially true for folks with slower digestion, which, let's be honest, describes a lot of us once we hit 50 or beyond. As we age, our stomachs don't churn quite as efficiently, and our bodies aren't as quick to handle challenging food combos. What might have been a non-issue in your 20s can turn into a daily annoyance in your 60s or 70s. Let me paint you a little picture from real life to drive this home. My good friend Margaret, she's 72, sharp as a tack, and still hikes every weekend, used to swear by her clean eating routine. Every morning, she'd sit down with a bowl of plain Greek yogurt topped with fresh grapefruit slices. It looked like something straight out of a health magazine. Bright, vibrant, full of promise. But by mid-morning, she'd be doubled over with nausea, her stomach gurgling like a faulty radiator. For months, we couldn't pinpoint the culprit. She'd say, "It's healthy food. How could it be making me feel this lousy?" Then one day, it clicked. We ditched the citrus, swapped the yogurt and fruit combo for something gentler. Think a warm bowl of oatmeal with a drizzle of honey, and just like that, the bloating and queasiness vanished. She hasn't looked back since, and her mornings are peaceful again. So, while fruit and yogurt might seem like the poster children for a wholesome diet, the truth is, they're not always the dream team we've been sold. Especially if you're noticing tummy troubles or you're in that over 50 club where digestion can get finicky, it might be worth rethinking this classic pair. Your stomach will thank you. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 2. Meat or high-protein meals. Now, this one might not immediately jump out at you as an obvious consideration, but trust me, it's every bit as crucial as the others, and it can have a surprisingly significant impact on how you feel after eating. Specifically, yogurt should not be paired with meat or other high-protein meals. At first glance, this might seem like a minor detail, but there's some fascinating science behind it, and understanding why can help you optimize your digestion and overall well-being. Let me break it down for you step by step. Yogurt, as you probably know, is already a powerhouse of protein on its own. It's packed with nutrients and beneficial bacteria, those famous probiotics, that do wonders for your gut health. But when you combine it with another rich source of protein, such as a juicy piece of chicken, a hearty cut of beef, a succulent pork chop, or even something as simple as a couple of scrambled eggs, you're essentially giving your digestive system a much tougher job than it needs. This is especially true if you're over the age of 50, when digestion naturally starts to slow down a bit. So, what's happening in your body when you mix these two protein-heavy hitters? Here's the deal. Digesting protein requires a substantial amount of stomach acid. It's a complex process that takes time and energy. When you pile one high-protein food, like meat, on top of another, like yogurt, in the same meal, your stomach has to go into overdrive to produce enough acid to break it all down. The result? Digestion slows to a crawl. Imagine your stomach as a busy kitchen trying to prep 2 massive dishes at once with limited counter space. It's just too much to handle efficiently. When digestion lags, the food sits in your stomach far longer than it's supposed to, and that's where things can get a little messy. While it's hanging out in there, the food can begin to ferment or even putrefy. Yes, I know those words sound a bit grim, but they're accurate. This process can produce gas, leaving you feeling bloated and uncomfortable. It might also lead to that heavy, weighed-down sensation in your gut, or worse, trigger acid reflux that creeps up your throat. Over time, if this becomes a regular habit, it could even contribute to chronic inflammation in your digestive tract, which is something none of us want. But there's another layer to this protein overload issue that's worth noting. The probiotics in yogurt, those little heroes that support your gut microbiome, can get overwhelmed. When your stomach ramps up acid production to tackle all that protein, it might wipe out those beneficial bacteria before they can do their job, rendering the yogurt's probiotic benefits less effective, or in some cases, completely nullified. Let me paint a picture with a real-life story to make this hit home. Last year, I heard from a viewer of this channel named Robert, a kind gentleman from Wisconsin with a passion for good food. He wrote to me about his nightly ritual. He loved pairing a generous dollop of thick, creamy Greek yogurt with his perfectly grilled steak dinner. It sounded like a delicious combo, savory, tangy, and satisfying. But here's the catch. Robert said that after these meals, he consistently felt sluggish, uncomfortably bloated, and sometimes even a tad nauseous. It was putting a damper on his evenings, and he couldn't figure out why. So, we troubleshoot together. I suggested a simple tweak. Instead of having the yogurt right alongside his steak, he could enjoy it as a standalone snack earlier in the day, say mid-morning, or wait at least 2 hours after his meal when his stomach had calmed down. Robert gave it a try, and a few weeks later, he reached out again. He was thrilled. He told me he hadn't felt so light, energized, and comfortable after eating in years. It was a small change with a big payoff. Think of your digestive system like a fireplace for a moment. If you've ever built a fire, you know you can't just dump a huge stack of logs onto the flames and expect it to roar beautifully. Too much fuel at once smothers the fire, making it smoky and inefficient. Digestion works the same way. You've got to feed it the right amount of fuel in the right sequence to keep things burning smoothly. When you toss yogurt into the mix with a heavy, protein-rich meal, it's like throwing an extra log on an already overloaded fire. It just doesn't work as well as it could. So, here's the takeaway. Save your yogurt for a quieter moment in your day. Enjoy it as a light breakfast with some fruit, a refreshing afternoon pick-me-up, or a post-dinner treat after your stomach has had time to process that hearty meal. By giving your digestive system this little breather, you'll allow your body to fully soak up all the incredible nutrients and probiotics yogurt has to offer, without the discomfort or the wasted potential. It's a simple shift that can make a world of difference in how you feel, day in and day out. 3. Spicy or fried foods. Alright, let's dive into the third category of foods you should absolutely avoid pairing with yogurt. Spicy or fried foods. I'll be honest, I'm not here to knock your love for a good kick of heat or the occasional crispy, golden indulgence. I get it. There's something deeply satisfying about a spicy chili or a perfectly fried snack. But when it comes to mixing these with yogurt, especially if you've crossed that 50-year milestone, we're stepping into tricky territory. Trust me, your stomach will thank you for paying attention here. Let's break it down, starting with spicy foods. Think chili peppers, a generous drizzle of hot sauce, a fragrant curry loaded with bold spices. These are the culprits I'm talking about. On their own, they can bring a fiery thrill to your taste buds, but they're not always kind to your insides. Spicy ingredients have a way of irritating the stomach lining, especially if your digestive system isn't as resilient as it once was. Age can make things a little more sensitive down there, and that's perfectly normal. Now, imagine tossing yogurt into the mix. Yogurt's got this cooling, soothing vibe going on. It's creamy, it's calming, and it tends to form a bit of mucus in the digestive tract. Sounds like it might balance things out, right? Not quite. What happens instead is a bit of a digestive tug-of-war. Your body's confused. Should it cool things down or brace for the heat? For a lot of folks, this clash doesn't end well. You might feel a heavy, unsettled sensation in your gut, or deal with indigestion that creeps up fast. Excess gas can start bubbling up, and for some, acid reflux kicks in almost immediately after the meal. It's like your stomach sending up a white flag, begging for mercy. Now, let's shift gears to fried foods. Picture this: crispy fries, golden chicken wings, or maybe a batch of fresh donuts straight from the fryer. These treats are usually cooked in processed oils. Think vegetable oil, canola, or whatever's cheap and handy. Those oils are already a challenge for your body to break down, even on a good day. They're heavy, they're greasy, and they don't exactly glide through your system. Pair that with yogurt, and you've just created a meal that's practically begging to overstay its welcome in your stomach. The combination turns into this thick, sluggish mess that can sit there for hours, weighing you down like a brick. Bloating becomes almost inevitable. Your belly might feel puffed up and uncomfortable, like you've swallowed a balloon. And here's the kicker. For older adults, whose metabolisms aren't running at peak speed anymore, this duo can even stir up inflammation. I've heard people complain about stiff joints or a general itchiness after meals like this, and it's no surprise. When digestion slows, your body has to work overtime, and that effort can ripple out in ways you don't expect. Let me paint a picture with a real story that stuck with me. There was this woman, Gloria. She was 65, full of life, and had this Friday night ritual she swore by. Every week, she'd whip up a plate of fried samosas, those delicious, crispy pockets of spiced goodness, and pair them with a cool, tangy yogurt dip. She adored the contrast, the heat of the samosas against the creamy chill of the yogurt. It was her little tradition, a treat to unwind after a long week. But here's the thing, every Saturday morning, without fail, she'd wake up feeling off. She described it as a foggy, weighed-down sensation, like her body was dragging its feet, refusing to get with the program. She chalked it up to age at first, but it nagged at her enough to mention it to me one day. I suggested she try splitting things up, maybe enjoy the yogurt on its own earlier in the day, paired with something light like fruit or a handful of nuts, and save the samosas for later. Nothing drastic, just a tweak. A week later, she sent me this giddy email that still makes me smile. "I didn't just feel better, honey," she wrote. "I felt younger. No more morning fog, no more sluggishness. Just a little shift that let her digestion breathe easier." That's the magic of listening to your body and giving it what it needs, when it needs it. So, There you have it. Spicy or fried foods and yogurt might sound like a fun combo on paper, but in practice, they're a recipe for discomfort, especially as the years add up. Enjoy them separately, savor them in their own moments, and you'll keep that digestive peace intact. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Let's dive into a detailed exploration of what you should eat with yogurt to optimize its benefits for your gut, ensuring it works in harmony with your body rather than against it. We've already covered the foods to avoid pairing with yogurt, but now it's time to shift our attention to the positive side. 3 exceptional foods that not only complement yogurt beautifully but also amplify its digestive advantages. These options are thoughtfully chosen for their gentle, nourishing qualities, making them especially ideal for individuals over 50 who may need a little extra care when it comes to digestion. When combined thoughtfully, these foods can leave you feeling lighter, more energized, and in tune with your body's natural rhythms. Let's take a closer look at each of these 3 stellar choices, exploring why they work so well and how they can become a delicious part of your routine. 1. Cooked apples with cinnamon, a warm, healing companion for yogurt. When we think about healthy eating, raw fruits and vegetables often steal the spotlight, praised for their freshness and nutrient density. However, as we age, particularly past 50, our digestive system sometimes craves something softer, warmer, and easier to process. That's where cooked apples with a dusting of cinnamon come in as an exceptional match for yogurt, offering a soothing, gut-friendly option that's both practical and delightful. Start with the apple itself. Apples are a nutritional powerhouse, packed with fiber, antioxidants, and a unique soluble fiber known as pectin. This pectin acts as a natural prebiotic, meaning it serves as food for the beneficial bacteria in your gut, perfectly complementing the probiotics found in yogurt. Together, they create a symbiotic relationship that supports a thriving gut microbiome. But here's the catch. While raw apples are fantastic in theory, they can be tough on aging digestive systems. The firm texture, coarse skin, and cold temperature of raw apples might lead to discomfort, bloating, or sluggish digestion for those with sensitive stomachs. That's why cooking the apples transforms them into something truly special. By gently simmering them until they're soft and tender, you break down those tougher fibers, making them far easier for your stomach to handle. This is a game changer for older adults who might experience occasional bloating, gas, or irregular bowel movements. Cooked apples provide a respite for the gut, delivering all the nutritional benefits, fiber, antioxidants, and pectin, without the strain. The warmth of the cooked fruit also aids digestion by encouraging a smoother, more comfortable process. Now, let's sprinkle in the cinnamon, a spice that's so much more than just a flavor enhancer. Cinnamon brings a natural anti-inflammatory boost to the table, helping to calm any underlying irritation in the digestive tract. It also plays a role in regulating blood sugar, which is crucial for those managing prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or the natural blood sugar fluctuations that can become more pronounced with age. Beyond its health benefits, cinnamon adds a subtle warmth that stimulates gentle movement in the gut, promoting regularity without being harsh or abrasive. But there's an emotional layer to this combination, too. Picture this: apples simmering on the stove, their sweet aroma mingling with the earthy scent of cinnamon. It's the kind of sensory experience that might transport you back to childhood, perhaps to your grandmother's kitchen, a cozy autumn day, or a moment when food felt like love. Pairing this nostalgic duo with yogurt doesn't just make for a smart choice. It's a comforting ritual that nourishes both body and soul. So, what happens when you stir cooked apples and cinnamon into a bowl of yogurt? You get a harmonious, digestion-friendly meal that's soft, warm, and easy on the system. The yogurt delivers its probiotics, those live, beneficial bacteria that bolster digestion and immunity. The cooked apples contribute prebiotics to feed those bacteria, ensuring they thrive. And the cinnamon ties it all together with its flavor, warmth, and metabolic support. It's a trio that works seamlessly with your body, enhancing gut health without any unnecessary strain. I'll never forget a story from one of our longtime community members, Diane, a 71-year-old who reached out last year. She'd been pairing her yogurt with fresh berries for decades, but as she aged, she noticed it started causing stomach discomfort. On a whim, she switched to warm, stewed apples with cinnamon stirred into her morning yogurt. Within a week, she wrote to say her bloating had vanished, her energy had lifted, and she felt an unexpected lightness, physically and emotionally. It's a reminder of how tuning into your body's needs can lead to simple yet profound changes. Want to try it yourself? It's a breeze to prepare. Take 1 or 2 sweet apples, think Honeycrisp or Fuji, peel and slice them, then place them in a small pot with a splash of water, just enough to prevent sticking. Cover and simmer on low heat for about 10 to 15 minutes, until they're fork tender but not mushy. Stir in a light dusting of ground cinnamon, let it cool slightly, and then mix it into a bowl of plain, unsweetened yogurt. This versatile dish can be a comforting breakfast, a satisfying afternoon snack, or even a gentle dessert after dinner. It's food that heals and soothes, proving that the simplest ingredients often yield the most rewarding results. 2. Ground flax seeds or chia seeds. Tiny powerhouses with big gut benefits. Sometimes, the most potent health allies come in the smallest packages, and that's certainly true of ground flax seeds and chia seeds. These unassuming little seeds are bursting with nutrients that deliver outsized benefits for digestion, heart health, and overall vitality, making them an ideal addition to yogurt, especially for those over 50. When blended into a creamy bowl of yogurt, they create a nourishing partnership that promotes regularity, reduces discomfort, and leaves you feeling revitalized. Let's start with flax seeds. These tiny brown or golden seeds are a treasure trove of omega-3 fatty acids, known for their anti-inflammatory properties. As we age, inflammation in the gut can contribute to bloating, constipation, or general unease, issues that omega-3s help to mitigate by soothing the digestive lining. Flax seeds are also rich in soluble fiber, which adds bulk to stools and encourages gentle, consistent bowel movements, a boon for anyone dealing with irregularity. Plus, they contain lignans, unique antioxidants that may support hormone balance and offer protection against age-related conditions like heart disease or certain cancers. With just a tablespoon of ground flax stirred into your yogurt, you're giving your gut a gentle cleanse and a hefty dose of anti-inflammatory goodness. Now, onto chia seeds, an equally impressive option with its own distinct charm. When chia seeds come into contact with liquid, like yogurt, they swell into a gel-like consistency that's incredibly soothing to the digestive tract. This gel acts as a natural lubricant, easing the passage of waste through the intestines, perfect for anyone prone to constipation or uneven digestion. Chia seeds are also loaded with fiber, protein, and essential minerals like magnesium and calcium, which support energy, muscle health, and strong bones as we age. Naturally gluten-free and low in sugar, they're a worry-free addition for sensitive stomachs or those monitoring blood glucose levels. Pairing either of these seeds with yogurt does double duty for your gut. First, the added fiber helps sweep waste through your system naturally and efficiently. Second, it creates an optimal environment for the probiotics in yogurt to thrive, since these good bacteria rely on prebiotic fiber to stay active and effective. The result? A balanced, supportive meal that's as easy to digest as it is beneficial. Here's how to make it happen. Grab a tablespoon of ground flax seeds, opt for ground, as whole seeds often pass through undigested, or chia seeds, and stir them into a small bowl of plain yogurt. Let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes to allow the seeds to soften and meld with the yogurt's creamy texture. For a flavor boost, add a pinch of cinnamon or a drizzle of raw honey, just enough to enhance without overpowering. If you're a planner, mix it up the night before and let it rest in the fridge. By morning, you'll have a thick, pudding-like treat that's both delicious and gut-friendly. A viewer named Thomas, 68, shared his experience with this combo. After years of digestive struggles, he started adding ground flax to his evening yogurt. Within 3 days, he noticed less bloating and more regularity, plus an unexpected bonus of sharper focus and mental clarity during the day. It's a testament to how small, intentional tweaks can ripple out to improve your whole well-being. Incorporating flax or chia into your yogurt routine is quick, affordable, and requires no cooking. Just a bowl, a spoon, and a few minutes. Beyond digestion, these seeds support your heart, brain, bones, and even your mood, making them a quiet powerhouse worth keeping in your pantry. Next time you scoop out some yogurt, toss in one of these tiny superstars. Your body will thank you in all the subtle, meaningful ways that add up over time. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Cooked or soaked oats. A timeless, gut-supporting partner for yogurt. When you think of comfort food, something warm, wholesome, and effortlessly satisfying, oats likely come to mind. A staple in kitchens for generations, Oats are beloved for their simplicity and nourishing qualities. What you might not realize, though, is how brilliantly they pair with yogurt to create a digestive health dream team, especially for older adults looking to keep their guts happy and balanced. Oats bring a lot to the table. They're rich in beta-glucan, a special type of soluble fiber with proven benefits. It helps lower cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and even bolster immune function. But their real magic for digestion lies in their prebiotic nature. Oats provide sustenance for the good bacteria in your gut, including the probiotics supplied by yogurt. Picture it like a dinner party. Yogurt invites the beneficial guests, and oats serve up the nourishment to keep them around, working hard to maintain your digestive harmony. This synergy makes oats and yogurt more than just a tasty duo. It's a strategic partnership for gut health. For older adults, oats offer an added perk. They're gentle. Whether cooked into a warm porridge or soaked overnight, oats are easy on the stomach, providing sustained energy without taxing the digestive system. Cooking or soaking softens their texture and enhances digestibility, which is key for anyone whose gut might protest raw or harder to break down foods. To enjoy this combo, try cooking a small batch of rolled oats with water or milk until creamy, then let them cool slightly before stirring into plain yogurt. Alternatively, soak the oats in yogurt overnight in the fridge for a no-cook option. By morning, you'll have a smooth, satisfying mix that's ready to eat. Add a touch of cinnamon or a few slices of cooked apple. Hello, synergy. For extra flavor and benefits. This pairing is a classic for a reason. It's comforting, nutrient-dense, and perfectly attuned to the needs of an aging body. Together, oats and yogurt deliver a 1-2 punch of probiotics and prebiotics, supporting regularity, energy, and overall wellness in a way that feels both indulgent and wise. Let's dive deeper into the art of preparation, because when it comes to oats, how you enjoy them can be just as critical as the decision to include them in your diet. As we age, our digestive systems often become less forgiving, and raw, dry oats, while packed with fiber and nutrients, can sometimes turn into a bit of a challenge. They might sit heavily in the stomach, stirring up bloating, gas, or even a nagging discomfort, particularly if your gut is already prone to sensitivity. This isn't to say oats are off the table. Far from it. It's simply a nudge to approach them with a little more care. That's why I strongly suggest cooking or soaking your oats before pairing them with yogurt, a small step that makes a world of difference. Picture this, a pot of oats simmering gently on the stovetop, mingling with a splash of water or perhaps some milk. Dairy, almond, oat, whatever suits you. The heat transforms those tough, chewy grains into something soft, warm, and wonderfully digestible. Once they've cooled just enough to lose their scalding edge, stir in a generous dollop of plain yogurt. What you end up with is a creamy, comforting bowl that's as soothing to your stomach as it is delightful to your taste buds. A meal that nourishes without overwhelming. But if mornings tend to whisk you away before you can stand over a stove, there's another fantastic option. Overnight oats. This couldn't be simpler. In a jar or bowl, mix your dry oats with yogurt and a touch of liquid, water, milk, or a plant-based alternative, and tuck it into the fridge before bed. By the time you wake, the oats have softened into a velvety texture, the flavors have melded into something rich and harmonious, and your breakfast is ready to grab and go. Want to elevate it? Toss in a pinch of cinnamon for warmth, a spoonful of ground flax seed for an omega-3 boost, or a scattering of soft, cooked fruit, think stewed apples or mashed banana. Suddenly, you've crafted a gut-friendly, nutrient-packed start to your day that requires almost no effort. Let me paint a picture with a story that brings this to life. I once met Evelyn, a spirited woman in her early 70s from a small town in Michigan, who had all but sworn off oats. She'd loved them in her younger years, but over time, they'd started leaving her bloated and sluggish, so she'd relegated them to a distant memory. Curious, I asked her how she'd been preparing them. Her answer? Straight from the box. Dry, instant oats, stirred into cold milk and eaten on the fly. No wonder her stomach was staging a revolt. We decided to try a gentler approach together. I suggested she lightly cook her oats until they were tender, then mix in some plain yogurt, a dusting of cinnamon, and a topping of stewed apples. Soft, sweet, and easy on the gut. 2 weeks later, Evelyn reached out with a glow in her voice. Not only had the bloating vanished, but she felt a steady lift in her energy, and, she swore, her mind seemed sharper, her thoughts clearer. It was a small tweak, but it rippled through her days, touching her body, her mood, even her sense of possibility. That's the magic of preparation, A humble shift in how we handle our food can unlock a deeper kind of vitality, one that feeds us physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, the next time you're spooning out some yogurt, think about adding a layer of warmth and intention with oats. Maybe it's a scoop of those stovetop cooked grains, still steaming faintly as they blend into the cool creaminess. Or perhaps a jar of overnight oats you prepped the night before, now chilled and ready to fuel your morning. Either way, you're not just eating, you're giving your gut a gift. The prebiotics from the yogurt, the fiber from the oats, they work together like old friends, supporting digestion and nourishing your whole system with a quiet, steady strength. This isn't about chasing the latest superfood fad or popping a pricey supplement. It's simpler than that, and more profound. Real food, affordable and unpretentious, prepared with wisdom to heal and sustain. Sometimes, in a world of noise and complexity, that simplicity is exactly what our bodies crave most. Before we part ways, let's pause for a moment, not to lecture, but to sit together in something softer, something human. Food, after all, is so much more than sustenance. It's the smell of your grandmother's kitchen, the comfort of a familiar bowl, the thread of tradition woven through your days. But it can also be a source of quiet confusion, especially as the years roll on and our bodies start whispering new needs. If you've ever tried something healthy only to feel worse, bloated, tired, or just off, and wondered what you did wrong, let me assure you, you're not alone. It's not a failing on your part. It's just life, unfolding as it does. The truth is, aging shifts the landscape of our bodies, and with that shift comes a gentle request: adapt with me. It's not about losing something. It's an invitation to listen more closely, to slow down, to meet ourselves with patience and grace. That's why we're here today, lingering over yogurt and oats. These aren't flashy cures or quick fixes. They're humble allies, capable of deep healing when we use them thoughtfully, and yes, capable of disruption when we don't. So let's take that invitation together, not out of obligation, but out of care, for our guts, our minds, our memories, and the days still ahead. Well, my dear friends, we've reached the end of this journey together. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make yogurt work for your body, not against it. So, tell me, what have you learned so far? Maybe it's avoiding citrus with your yogurt, or perhaps you're excited to try cooked apples with cinnamon. Whatever it is, I'd love for you to comment below this video with one thing you've learned today and plan to bring into your life. It's such a joy to hear from you. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world to us, and I can't wait to see you back here for more insights to help you feel your best. Until next time, take care.